Hi you guys, it's Theresa here of Larkin Design, and welcome back to Larkindecember. Today I'm going to try to share with you days 18 through 21. So I've got a lot of information, a lot of process here. I'm probably just going to explain to you a little bit about what each story is, and then go into fast forward mode just so that it's not incredibly long for you. But I did want to get these 4 days in this week so that then next week I can come back and share with you the last few days of the month, or the last few days of Christmas, and get this album finished up for you. And so my story for this day is actually a really kind of unbelievable one, but here goes. So for many years I've had this mug here that's shown in the front, and it was one of my mother's mugs, and she passed away 10 years ago. So I've had this mug at least 10 years, probably 11 or 12 years. And I've actually built a Christmas mug collection around this one little mug. And so every year I buy another mug, and it sort of keeps me connected to her. And I usually display them on the plate rack that she gave me. I documented that last year. So if you remember last year's album, or if you want to check that out, you can go back in my archive and find that. But so anyway, I had this mug. It's 10, 11, 12 years old at least. And I ran to Target on that day. I was just getting a few last minute things, some chocolate, and I went walking through the wrapping paper section and picked up this washi tape. It's totally random. It's this paper and spool, I think, no, sugar paper that is in the wrapping section at Target, right? And I'm looking at this washi tape, and I put it in my cart, and then I look up, and there's that mug just randomly sitting on the shelf. And it's the most crazy thing, because my first thought was, who put our mug here? And when I looked at it closer, it has the cracks in the glaze, and honestly, it looks like it's been used already, which sounds really weird, but I'm used to buying vintage things, so it's, that have been used. But it had the price tag, a $3 price tag on the bottom. And if you search on the Target website for Christmas mug or snowflake mug or any kind of mug, you'll get like 17 pages of results, and not a single one of them is that mug. So I think that that mug was placed there just for me, through supernatural means or something. I don't know. But anyway, so I had to buy it, of course, because if I didn't buy the mug, nobody would believe me. But I'm really happy that I found it, and then I bought it, and I do see it as sort of a visit from my mom. So, and I'm happy that it has a partner now. So that's cool. So what I want to do with this story is I sort of styled a photo here and blew it up to 6 by 8. So I want to do, a little embellishment on that, and then I want to write my journaling here on this side. That's coming up later on. So let me push that out of the way so I have a little bit of room to work. And I think what I'm going to do is go into fast forward so you can see my process for this, and then I'll come back for day 19. Okay, so to begin with, on this page, I think I'm going to work with the number 18 here. And so I'm just trying to decide what I want to put that 18 on. I'm just going to go through my journaling cards again. I'm also trying to figure out here what cards I want to use for my journaling. So you're going to watch me go back and forth a little bit here. I did decide on this red and white stripe for the number 18 here. And then, here's where I kind of go back and forth, and I'm just weighing what each card looks like, how to fit my story onto this page. I think that I will probably split the story into two parts, the history of the first mug and then the story of the second mug. So 2 journaling cards, that's definitely a good balance. And then it's just a matter of choosing one. And I really don't think that you could go wrong there, that any of those journaling cards would have done a fantastic job. So I did end up going with this one from the Paislee Press mini kit. And all of the products that you see here are from the Allie Edwards 2017 main kit and the Paislee Press 2017 mini kit. And the number 18, those wood numbers are from Ellie's Studio. I think that's the only product that's from outside of those 2 kits here. And then my journaling was just very simple, the history and then the story, and then I added lines here just to give those sentences a little bit of grounding. Now, for the photo, I'm going to use one of those little half circles at the top, and I'm going to stamp here this little December with the lines. This is the Paislee Press stamp set from this year, and then I'm going to trim that half circle very tight. It's a very small half circle. I just didn't want to take up a lot of space with that half circle. And then these little starbursts are from the Studio Calico Northern Lights kit from December 2017 as well. So I'm just going to adhere this down and then join me for the full layout. Okay, so that is day 18. I'm just going to let you have a look at it, and then I will move on to day 19. So that is really awesome. Whoops, that was loud too. So notice how I struggled a little bit with the placement of these cards, and I ended up separating the story into 2 parts. So one part is on this journaling card and telling the history, and then the second part is on the second card, and then my number I've put here. I may end up putting the number up here just because this seems like a more prominent card. But either way, it works like that. So I'm going to move on to day 19 here. Just take this out for now, as I still have to photograph them. So the story of day 19 is also a pretty fun story, and so I went to pick up Nick and was waiting in the car, or pulled up in the car line, and his teacher is waiting with him. And at first I thought, oh no, this might not be good. So she walked him to the car, and she poked her head in the car, and she said, I just want to tell you how much I love having your kid in my class. And so she had all kinds of really nice things to say about him. So wanted to be sure and celebrate him. I think that what I'm going to do, I really like this red background, but I may look and see if I have more of this and then do a little bit of gesso, because I need more room for journaling than I have on this tag. So I'm going to gesso, find another sheet of red pattern paper and gesso it and do the journaling for this. So I've found my leftover pieces from that collection. This is the crepe paper Fa La La collection, and I had gone through a moment of indecision whether I wanted to use the red side of this or the black and white buffalo check, and the red won out. It just seemed brighter and happier. So I have spread some gesso onto that page, and it's going to dry while I work on finishing up the other side. Those pages didn't need a lot. I just wanted to add a few sentences to this cute little tag here. And that tag is going to float in that pocket. I'm not adhering it down or anything. Pardon my big fat head there. So then real quick, I just created a little embellishment cluster here around this photo. The photo is printed on a 4x6 sheet of photo paper with borders, and I think it ends up being like 3.75 by 2.9 or something like that. Not quite 3x4. And so I'm going to just layer 2 tags and the gold Fa La La, and add the little gold starburst here again. So the gesso is mostly dry here. I just ran my finger over it to get some of the thicker parts off. And then I'm going to stamp these lines. This line stamp is a really old one, and I have absolutely no idea where it came from. It's just something that has like hung around my desk. Do you have that one thing that hangs around your desk that has just been there forever and it seems to go with you wherever you go? So that is that line stamp set. But it's great for just adding a little vertical element here, and a home base for the journaling on my layout. So I'm gonna just I'm just adhering down those elements and then writing out my journaling here. I realized once I went to journal that what the teacher actually said to me was, "Can I just have him?" And then she went on to talk about how much she enjoyed teaching Nick in her class. Okay, so a couple of notes about this process. For day 19, the foundation pages are so completely done. I didn't need to do anything other than just add another little note to the journaling tag. And then, if you notice, I gessoed this very lightly, but it's enough so that it contrasts enough for the journaling to show through. And I let it dry while I was working on this side of the page, and then I touched over it just a little bit so that it would finish drying, and I could do the journaling on top. I'm still going to let it dry just for a few more minutes to make sure that it doesn't stick to the page protector. But that is for day 19, and so I'm going to let you have a look at that, and then I'll flip over to day 20. Okay, so my story for day 20, and I have to be honest here and say that I don't really want to do anything to this pattern paper over here, and I'm seriously considering just leaving it that way or maybe adding one simple little title. I don't know. My story for this day is going to be a remembrance of my parents. This is a photo of them on their wedding day. And so that is them. This is actually a retouched photo. The original I don't have, but I will tell you that the original had a crack in the photo paper right down the middle. So I did a little presto changeo in Photoshop and touched that up a little bit. Touched up the border of it because it just has age over the years. But this is a scanned copy of the original and then retouched. So, but I wanted, what frequently happens for me is that, when I look through my December albums, I feel a gap there. There's a very obvious gap, like how can you do a journaling book about 25 days of Advent and your parents are not in it, right? I can't take pictures with them anymore. But I can make sure that they are included somewhere. And because even though they might not be physically here, they are still present in me. And if you look back at pictures when I had short hair, I look just like my mother. And I also talk just like my mother, and I sound just like my mother. So, they're all things that I'm really proud of. And so that I couldn't think of a more special day to include their memory here and write a little bit of journaling, just so that they are actually present here in my albums. If you're new to my channel or you don't really know, my dad died about 24 years ago when I was 19, and my mom about 10 years ago. So yeah, I'm just going to keep this really simple here. I might do a little rummaging through my stash to see if I have some kind of title or something to add here, and do my photo and my journaling. Okay, so I did find this love title from Dear Lizzie, and I'm going to just adhere it down with a couple of labels from the Felicity Jane Joy Kit. And so not complicated here. I really wanted to keep this beautiful black and white pattern paper. I really wanted to keep it as intact as possible. That love word, you could do a lot of things to that if you wanted to. I just chose to keep it white so that the emphasis here would be on that black and white pattern paper. Just a lovely little filler page here that sort of expresses some of the emotion around what I feel on this layout. So I chose this black and white pattern paper here, and I'm going to cut that down to 4x6, and then I'm going to layer this little vellum piece on top of it, and then the photo on top of that. So very simple layering technique here. And then I realized when I took that washi tape up, it left just a little strip of adhesive on that photo. So I'm going to put different washi tapes down there. I thought the gold on gold was probably not really the look that I was going for. And then I'm going to add some more journaling here to both of these cards here. I wanted to be sure and put my parents' ages here. I put the approximate date and the place that they were. They were in Baltimore. And then I just talked a little bit about, or journaled a little bit about wondering what it would be like if they were still here. That's something that I think about a lot. Okay, so just a few notes about day 20. So I found a large title from the Dear Lizzie Stargazer collection and added just a couple of labels from Felicity Jane. And so where they were in Baltimore, Maryland, and the approximate date, I really and truthfully can't remember what year they got married. But that's okay. I just put circa 1965. And then I wanted to be sure and include their ages at the time. And I wrote about how I wonder sometimes what it would be like if they were still here, you know. Because I think about that all the time. Like, what would it be like? And then for the photo, I just layered it on this black and white pattern paper and some of the little vellum, and added a little floral embellishment. So I'm going to let you take a look at that, and then we'll move right along to day 21. Okay, so day 21. Are you guys hanging in there? It's a lot today, but I did want to just keep plugging along with this project. So hopefully you're getting lots of good ideas for your own projects as well. My intention, this is our fireplace mantle, and we got new stockings for the kids this year, so I wanted to include that. My original plan was to put this on the pattern paper here, but what had happened, if you watched my foundation page process video, then you saw that I just had this offcut pattern paper here that was less than 6 inches wide. So that was how the ball fringe came to be. But that means that my photograph is wider than my pattern paper. Not really a big deal. I can just put that over there. And what I might do, because I think I know I used the star pattern paper already. I'm just looking back to see, maybe I didn't use it already. Not that it matters, right? You know, like, use papers over and over again if you like that. But I think, so moving the picture here, and then thinking about what to do with day 22, because in all honesty, that's complete. Like, add a little bit of journaling, put the number over here instead, and that day is complete. And then I can use, I had this transparency for day 22. I can still use that. I can still do something with that. So I think I might just do this day on this side. But I know that's glaring right there, so let me put that back over there so it's not so distracting. And then pull these cards out. And just complete this day very quickly. And, you know, I think that's pretty normal at this stage of the game to just be keeping it simple. And that's why days 22 and 23 are the way they are. They're just designed to be very simple, very quick to put together. And because at this stage, we're just ready to have Christmas and pretty much be done with this project. There we go, I like that. And a little simple journaling here. So our mantle here, actually, it got a little makeover this year, and I wanted to document that. We got a new wreath, a new garland, new stockings, new stocking holders, and so just some fun things here to be sure and document here in my album. Just a little bit of the decorating. Once I had my journaling written, I adhered the 21 down to that other card, and then I'm going to just add a little tiny embellishment to the photo. Okay, and so that is literally day 21 and the end of today's process video. So in the next few days is Christmas. I want to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, however you celebrate. I hope that it is magical and filled with love and wonder and peace. And I will see you back next week to finish up the last few days of my album. And thank you for joining me, for following through this process. It truly is a joy every year to share this with you. And I hope you feel inspired. I'll see you back here again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.